Tanya, the project director for vintage houses at the Stone Harbor Museum. This is the first of many vintage houses that we're going to be presenting to you. The house today we'll be talking about is the Baxter House at 135 101st Street.
So I called my real estate guy and asked him to come down, and I told him I was going to buy a house in Stone Harbor. So he said okay, and so he met me. It took me to see 3 houses, and they were beautiful homes, really. And then, but they just didn't fit right. So then he took me and said, I have one more house to show you. I said okay. So he brought me over here, and I walked up the steps, walked in. I looked at the house, and I want you to know, the house hugged me. Literally, it just wrapped itself around me. I asked him how many bedrooms. He said 6. I said, okay, I'll take it. He said, don't you want to see the upstairs? I said, no, I don't need to see the upstairs. This house is hugging me, and I can feel the love in this house, probably from the previous owners.
The house at 131 101st Street was born in 1914 and occupied 2 lots. George Cowan Perry, a Philadelphia judge, bought the house in 1923. When the Perrys lived there, the house had a basement, side yard, garage, and a hut that was built for the grandchildren. At some point, the adjacent lot was sold. The house moved to 135 101st Street. George Perry raised his sons there, coming to Stone Harbor every summer until 1959 when he died, and the house was sold. After 2 more owners, Ann Baxter bought the house in 1985 for $212,000. She named it second one and has raised her family there with kids and grandkids coming down every summer.
This was my room up here on the 3rd floor, and it was kind of like a fort up here back then. It was really brown, a lot of wood, bead and board, and my brother had the adjacent room. Well, when I would go to sleep at night, I'd get all tucked in, and I would shut my eyes, and then I would feel this presence sit down on the corner of my bed. Man, it would freak me out completely. And as a 12, 13-year-old girl, I would start screaming, thinking that there was somebody in my room. My parents would come into the room, no one was there. And it would happen over and over and over again. I've come to realize that it was some kind of spirit or wonderful presence in the house that was really just trying to take care of this little girl who was trying to go to sleep. But about 10 years ago, my sister and her husband actually saw the old woman in the house. And so I felt so validated knowing that I wasn't crazy, but still I remember the presence on the foot of my bed when I'd go to sleep every night. The person. But there were many wonderful, nurturing women who lived in this house over the years, so it could have been any one of them.
What I like about the old is there's a story with everything. The people that owned it before, their personalities, their passion, their heartbeat, and you just can feel it when you get something that someone else owned. You can feel that person with it, and there's something very special about something old.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an infant, actually it's a French infant bathtub. See, the water comes out over here. And so I decided it should be a really good spice garden. And it's waters and it drains properly. And this is probably at least 125 years old. And it's heavy, and it's an infant bathtub.
What makes you go for the old?
There's a quality in old, and there's a story with everything, you know, and I love the stories. Everything has a story and there's a feeling. It actually comes with its own feeling, its own heartbeat, the heartbeat of the other people who used it before.
Okay, so the story about the tub. The tub originally was in the 2nd-story bathroom, and in the early 2000s, when we had a huge flood come through the house due to some broken pipes, we had to make some decisions about what would stay in the house and what would come out. This steel tub came out. In the beginning of the day, when we were getting ready to go to the beach with our toddlers, we would fill the tub up about a foot and let the sun warm it all day while we spent all of our time at the beach. And then we'd come back and the tub would be warm, and we'd dunk our little toddlers in there to get the big amount of sand off, and then we'd shower them right off in the outside shower right here. And it's a great memory. You can also wash off all the the beach toys in here too, but it's just something that it's a nod to the past, which we like to keep that around, and it's useful for the future.
And there's something very special about something old.